Welcome, listeners, to Just Neapolitan, where we ask the age-old question, what is the loneliest number? Today, this dynamic duo includes Just Jordan, and I'm your resident cat uncle, Brian.
He do be the cat uncle, the best one.
Yeah. You see what I did with just there? It has like a double meaning.
Yeah.
Like you just, but it's also just you, and
Nah.
you know. Do we? I guess we should still do the fake gamer thing. Although I know I've played some games. I was worried halfway through this week. I didn't. I was working on other stuff, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna wear the crown this week. But then I loaded up Persona 3 again last night, so I feel like I did my due diligence, and at least played a game for a few hours.
It almost could have been me.
Oh no, you were there too?
I was there too.
Oh.
If I didn't take a whole day and playing Hogwarts Legacy and keeping my ass in this room. If I didn't do that, it would have been me. I'm not gonna lie.
So we potentially could have been the only two here and both been fake gamers on a podcast about video games.
That would have been perfect.
Now I almost wish we didn't do it now. I almost wish both of us didn't go, we got to play something.
Look,
No, go ahead.
No, technically, my brain didn't instantly go, I need to play a game or else I might be the fake gamer. It's like, I have time. Let me do the thing now, do the best. Let me play a game.
Well, it's funny now we're talking. I only remembered the Persona one. I do remember too that Atomic Hearts came out. Just because what we need is 2 games in a row steeped in possible controversy. Our Atomic Hearts is made by a Russian studio, and so there's the possible problems there. I decided to give it a shot because I did read a review that at least is like, hey, it's not Russian propaganda. They're kind of doing like a Fallout, like BioShock thing, but done in Russia. So it's supposed to be like satirical about this. So I'm like, okay, so I feel like maybe did correctly kind of, you turn a mirror on the absurdity of some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will say this much. I may not stay with the game long enough to find out whether or not they accomplished it. So where do I start? There's 15 minutes in the beginning where nothing's happening, but the game's still going.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is just a set box, and like it's gorgeous, looks great, and I get you want to show that off. I would prefer to see it while I'm playing the game instead of in a movie where I have no control. Oh, and then there's a walking simulator after that. And holy voice acting, Batman.
Bad acting, Batman?
Yeah, bad, but not even like campy bad where like you can enjoy it. Just emotionless. Like the main character, so there's a part, and this is still in the set box thing, so I'm not giving anything away. Where, okay, you're in a car that's being towed by a flying vehicle. Oh, by the way, you start on a floating island, and just to we've played BioShock Infinite. Here's how we're gonna tell you without telling you. You're on a floating island to start with.
Mm.
And then you're in a car, but then gets picked up by a robot to fly you down to the Earth. It's like you start a floating island, but then the game's going to take place on Earth. And I'm like,
what?
Okay, you fucked up already. If there's floating islands, that's where I want to play. That sounds like the fun place to be.
How do we feel that fast?
Yeah, I mean, but so you get attacked because MacGuffin happens.
Mm-hmm.
So the robots revolt. That's the whole point of the game. It's like all these robots that are supposed to make our lives, robots, zombies, pick one. Heartless machines or heartless, whatever. It does that. None of it matters. It's hey, this is what you're shooting. I do kind of appreciate that it's robots instead of just another human enemy. I don't have to stop and go, do I kind of feel bad that I'm killing humans? Like, crushing robots, all good. But, so the main character in the car gets attacked and it's falling. Dude, like, emotes like he's just having a walk. Like, his, like, oh, fucks. Like, that's about as much as he put into it.
Mm.
I'm like, you're in a car that's been towed and the thing's getting attacked and it's falling to the earth. And then later on, he's in some random elevator, or maybe this is before. I don't even remember. That's how much I don't care so far. and like the same thing. Like there's just no emotion. There's no levels to this voice, and I'm like, cool, man. So you totally were like, hey, I'm getting paid, and I mean, props to you, secure the bag, you know. And I guess I don't know what the working conditions were. Maybe at some point you just don't care anymore, and you're like, I'm just gonna finish this fucking contract because I signed it and I have to. I don't know any of the backstory of that, but it was just like so far, I'm like, come on, man, make it sound like you're in a death-defying, situation, not just that you're having a stroll.
You know who else just have to work through everything? All the voice
Hmm.
actors for Borderlands 3 because Jesus Christ, no, no.
You know what? Can I tell you?
What?
The voice acting in Borderlands 3 was better than this game.
Damn.
So I've run into one character that I enjoyed the voice acting and brought me into the character, and it's Granny Xena, who suspiciously looks like the late Queen of England. No joke. I mean, I guess maybe just at some point, old woman and in a video game, and I guess the fidelity is not exactly there, but yeah, kind of does. Oh, and then remember the game takes place in Russia, but everyone has either a British or an American accent.
Hmm.
Now, obviously, I'm playing in English, but I don't know. Yeah, and then let's talk about the combat.
Oh, how bad's the combat?
So I wanna like it. I do want to. The melee combat, which at this point in the game you basically have to rely on because I just got. So there's a crafting system too. Let's get that out of the way because every
Okay.
fucking game needs a crafting system now.
Why did we go into this crafting escapade in all these damn games now?
Because that it can justify you having to open 7,000 containers.
No, no, we don't need to do that.
Yeah. So I got to collect all this random crap all the time so I can craft things, and it's also you need the crafting materials to also upgrade your weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically so you have a sentient glove, which is annoying to hear the protagonist argue with his hand. I don't know what happens at night, and I don't want to. But so
A
yeah,
lot
you
of
have a
good
sentient
conversations at the
glove.
night.
When talking about conversation,
Mm-hmm. Those all those conversations. Man.
the ultimate stranger. It's not technically your hand anymore.
Ooh.
Uh, God, even I didn't like that one. Okay, so yeah, I know. So you have plasmids, but they're not plasmids, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they are. It's just a legally distinct name. And of course, the first one you get is a zap. You know, and it just feels insanely underpowered. Like you zap the robots, and they just kind of spaz out for a little bit, and then that's that. And it doesn't feel like it does damage. Like there's puddles of water on the floor, and I
Mm.
tried zapping them, and I'm not seeing them do anything. And I'm like, wait, but in the original Bioshock that came out a long time ago, you could zap pools of water and watch just teams of people get electrocuted to death. It felt powerful, it felt. This feels like, those little like grill starters
Mm-hmm.
that are electric. It feels like I'm just zapping it with that, like, haha. And they're like, that was a mild inconvenience. Um, and then also swinging your axe. I get it. It's a two-handed axe. It's heavy, but it feels extremely slow.
Mm.
And yes, if you're swinging an axe, it is. But I don't want to play me trying to survive robots. I want to play this person who's apparently like some badass secret soldier guy fighting robots who also doesn't happen to have a weapon on him. Like,
What?
you
What is
really
that?
you don't even have a pistol on you most of the time. A combat knife. But yeah, so obviously, like, I mean, they're obviously inspired by Bioshock. So I'm going to draw tons of parallels to it because I'm sorry, that's what happens. If you're inspired by Dark Souls, I'm going to compare you to Dark Souls. Like, deal with it.
Mm.
But it's just like it doesn't feel like a game that learned much from its predecessors. It just kind of went, that's a good idea. We'll do that. but slightly not as good. But we got a crafting system, and like the game's gorgeous. It really is. But that's not going to keep me playing a game. Like, yes, that's cool. I could watch a movie if I want to see something pretty.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, I played it for like an hour and a half. I've made some progress. I'm like, I'll probably, I don't know. I will probably load it up at least one more time and give it another shot because it seems like I'm getting into like at least a bigger area. But like, there's this whole open world, and then the first thing they do is shove you into a basement. I'm like, yeah, it's the thing that they, one of those things they tell you about writing is if this isn't the most interesting part of your character's life, then why aren't you telling me about that? And I'm getting kind of sick of games that are like, oh, no, we're going to do this slow build. And no, you need to catch me right away. Your story can have a slow build to get me interested in it. But if you want me in the game, it needs to be interesting right away. I need to want to continue to play it to see what develops. And if you're starting with 2 hours to 3 hours of boring, mediocre gameplay to expect me to play your 40-hour game, well, I'm not going to make it far enough to get to the interesting parts.
That is very true. I'm thinking about now other games that have had that type of problem where you're playing for at least an hour, hour and a half. Actually, Assassin's Creed 3. Now I'm thinking about it. Because you're not really playing with Connor in the beginning of the game. You're playing as a Templar for like what?
Yeah.
An hour, hour and a half into the game?
I mean, if you go directly from one point to another and don't enjoy the whole point of Assassin's Creed games, which is running around on rooftops for no reason, then yeah.
Just for you to just like get swapped into a young Connor's body and now you're actually playing the game. And now you're just sitting here like, wait, like, why am I now finally playing the main character?
Well, yeah, and didn't Kingdom Hearts 2 pull that same crap?
Yeah, oh, it did it bad. Cause I'm not gonna lie, if I wasn't a Kingdom Hearts fan, that whole Twilight, zone, the whole Twilight part, Twilight Zone, I'm forgetting the name right now. I don't care. That whole section is a very slow burn before you even start the damn game. And honestly, as a kid, I fell asleep at that part a lot. Only because it made, to me, it didn't make no damn sense why we had to add, what? I don't want to say 2 hours, probably even more, of playing with a different character that's not Sora.
Yeah, see, that's so famous they did it that you know how I feel about Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even I knew they pulled that shit in 2. Let me mention how I never played 2. I played maybe 3 hours of 1, and I was like, this isn't for me. I don't know who this game's for, but it's not me.
Hey.
And that was it. Although, you know what? I will say, my girlfriend at the time really enjoyed the portable version of Kingdom Hearts that she had on her DS. Yeah, because it wasn't the 3DS yet. So
if it was DS, it probably was if it was probably a Chain of Memories because it had a Game Boy game.
That sounds familiar. It probably, yeah. Because I know she wasn't playing as Sora. I don't believe. It was some other edgelord.
Damn, then it probably no. It might have been because Chain of Memories you was playing as Sora, but Dream Drop Distance went back and forth between Sora and Riku. The edgelord.
Yeah, it could have been that one. I mean, also, this is a long time ago, and I could be combining like 2 or 3 different, JRPG type games that I remember her playing. So, I was busy. Like those were fun times, though. We would sit in bed on our days off, and she'd play that, and I'd be playing like Tactics Advance.
Yeah.
I replayed the when they remade the original Final Fantasy 3 in the 3D style. Played through that, and I was like, oh, well, I'm happy I played this. I'll never play it again, though. Like things have gotten better. I prefer the game I used to call Final Fantasy 3 as a child. Thank you. Now I always have to remember to call it 6. I mean, yeah, such a minor thing. I don't even. There's no point complaining.
Yeah.
So how's your Hogwarts journey going?
Uh, so my Hogwarts journey is probably going the slowest out of everybody, only because I'm over leveled for most of the quests, even though, and I give this to Hogwarts Legacy team. They when you go against enemies, they're the same level as you,
Hmm.
so uh, you're not like facing a level like if you're required to be a level 14 for for a quest line, you're not going against level 14 uh monsters or NPCs or dark wizards. You're going against level 25 ones if you're a level 25. So it's
Well,
instantly you get hit, and it's still going to hurt. But
yeah, I like that. I mean, some games I don't like that in, but I've watched I watched a bit of Floyd playing, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think this combat's difficult enough that I think it probably was a good choice for them to keep everyone at your level.
I don't know if you're gonna talk about the combat to me is very subpar. Especially you have a lot of different spells that can combo with each other, and you have a big window to protect yourself and stupefy and hit an attack back at the enemy. You have a big ass window, so it's kind of hard not to miss it.
That's probably why they went with keeping the enemies your level.
Yeah, probably.
If like you have all those bonuses and you could over level yourself, you're talking about games that require grinding of you. Like once again, I've always got to go back to this Final Fantasy games. You'll be fine, you'll be fine, you'll be fine, and then all of a sudden you're like, how the fuck did I get wiped in 10 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
So and I mean, there's something to be said for the grind. I'm one I can enjoy it if the like I don't mind that gameplay loop if the systems are done well. Like for Persona 3, I bring up that example of playing lately. You don't really have to grind in it, but if you don't grind, you kind of miss out on some of like the cooler things you can do in the game. And I like the gameplay loop enough. And then the other thing too with Persona, which is great, is man, I'm sick of doing all this fighting crap. I'm okay. I'm gonna get out of here, and then I'm gonna go back to my leveling up my personal relationships and hearing about people's stories a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's another way I think that game gets you hooked, is having those two desperate systems going on. So it's like, I'm sick of doing this. I'm gonna go do this part of the game. I'm sick of this. I'm gonna go do this part of the game, and that's why too. Cult of the Lamb, I think, pulled that off really well too.
I still want to play Cult of the Lamb because it's to me, I it's something about these damn indie games. I just still want to play them.
I'm becoming more and more of an indie game player as years go on because
Same.
I feel like indie games are where a lot of the original ideas are at least taking seed. Now, obviously, there's a lot of that like copycat syndrome. The card battler did well in this one game, and now here's 1,000 card battlers. But that being said, it was an indie game that originally went, well, I'm going to take this concept and I'm going to put it into a game. I just feel like there's more unique and interesting things happening in the indie market, whereas AAA is like shooters, sports games, over the top RPGs that you'll probably not finish unless you're, in your 20s or your teens when you've actually got probably some extra time. Like
Yeah.
life does catch up eventually. And it's like, yeah, I love those grand adventures. I'm probably not going to finish them because I just
I feel like
like I can't. It can't take that much of my life up. It just can't anymore.
honestly, I think I'm the same way now because as much as I want to finish Octopath Traveler, and when Octopath Traveler 2 comes out, I want to play that as well, even though it's just almost a reskin. I need, do I have the time to actually level up every character to actually get farther into the game? And do I need to? I probably don't. And this is still coming from the same guy that gets sidetracked in single player games with random things to do in the game.
I mean, look, we talked about it. I still have not finished, Skyrim.
We did.
And
So as to Octopath Traveler, it released today, sir.
Octopath Traveler 2 released today.
Today.
I am really slipping on games.
so you said it when it comes out, and I was like, wait a minute, I have a feeling. That's sorry, that's why I was distracted from it. I was looking it up. I was like, I have a feeling that actually came out already.
Ain't that bad,
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, Sons of the Forest went into early access yesterday. Octopath came out today.
Son of a bitch.
I mean, granted, by the time this comes up, it's gonna be out already. Because, that's how having to record things works.
Yeah.
In case anybody wasn't sure, it's not like, these get recorded on Sunday and put out on Sunday. I don't think anyone still thinks that, do they? People understand how that works.
People
right?
know it take. Yeah, I think people know it takes time.
That literally every episode is dated by the time it comes out.
Yeah. By the time of this recording, it is now.
Yeah, I ain't never gonna do that.
Yeah, I know.
Like, we're just gonna talk about what we talk about.
Maybe it's relevant, maybe it's not.
Speaking of talking about things, let me talk about the fighting game shit. Yeah, it's time again.
Uh-oh. Is this because
They're showing off Street Fighter 6.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's a lot in between the fighting game community because right now accidentally Mortal Kombat 12 got leaked, which is hilarious. So if those who don't know, they was having a basically a breakdown for Warner Brothers Discovery, and with them talking about their fiscal year, they also talked about sales for the upcoming Mortal Kombat game, and they said Mortal Kombat 12. And that was hilarious to me. 'Cause I'm like, huh. Ed Boon just kept in the dark about this game. And then it was like, oh yeah. Let's accidentally talk about it in a meeting and let that meeting accidentally get leaked. Funny as shit. But I'm gonna talk about Evo. Cause I love Evo. I might want to go to Evo this year.
Oh yeah? When and where is it?
August, I think 6th through the 9th. I know it's a 3-day thing, and it's in Las Vegas. It's always held in Las Vegas. And thing about it is, since I really do love watching people play fighting games, especially since Tekken 7 is still going to be playable. Street Fighter 6 is going to be playable by that time, which I'm kind of excited for Street Fighter 6 because it looks. I'm gonna cross my fingers, and it looks promising.
You should be excited for Street Fighter 6 the third time they release it, not the first one.
See, and that's my thing. I'm excited for the first one because it looks so good, but I know they're gonna drop a championship edition, or what they're gonna call it, a street edition. I don't know.
They always look good though. Street Fighter has always looked good.
And that's the problem. It has always looked good, and now the designs for the characters are looking better, especially for old characters. Like they just released Cammy and Zangief, they look good. Bringing back DJ from Street Fighter 2. I'm not bringing up his Street Fighter 4 version. It looks good.
Yeah, don't. No. I loved DJ in 2. It was just like no one was ever ready for his moves.
And now it's even better because they're adding like a rhythm type of mechanic into it, and I like.
So you
I like
found
that.
your new character.
Possibly. They also brought in T Hawk's daughter Lily. And T Hawk's daughter has both of his clubs. And she looks nice too. And I want to play her. It's like Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter in general gives me this love hate relationship. Like, I love you. I want to play you. But just release
See,
the whole game in like one thing.
I think they messed up there with T Hawk's daughter's name. You named her Lily. Should have named her like Falcon Hawk or like Kitty Hawk. Keep the hawk in there. Make something happen. Like Lily Hawk don't work. You know, keep the bird motif.
I feel like Lily means something in like I may be wrong, but I think Lily might mean something in like Native American.
Yeah, well, that's also would be fairly reductionist because you gotta understand, like, which First Peoples nation are they claiming T Hawk to be from? Like, you gotta remember, it's not like. I mean, oftentimes it's referred to in a very generalist sense of Native American, like, oh, that's it. And I'm like, no, they're very specific nations with very specific their own belief systems and their own history, and I get it. I'm not saying you're trying to be reductionist. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure, like, it is extremely a reductionist way, and it's kind of why, like, I cringe a bit when you have a native people's character in games because I'm like, did you like at least do some due diligence and try not to be just a complete fucking asshole with this character? I get it. It's a fighting game. Everyone's gonna be a bit of a caricature.
Yeah.
But there's a caricature, and then there's insensitive racist caricature. Yeah. I don't know that I trust Capcom to do their due diligence on that.
I mean,
But that being said, I'm sure it'll be a fun fighting game when they figure out how to make it work.
it most definitely will. And
Sorry, I brought the tone down. I didn't mean to bring the tone down.
I know it's all good. I know fighting games really do have the hit and miss of different caricatures for their fighters, and some make it right. Some are really bad at it. This is what it is.
Yeah, like I said, I think with fighters, like, no one's looking for you to do, a historical one-to-one representation. It's just like,
You be
just
surprised.
look into it enough to, I mean, I wouldn't. And I understand that want and that thought process, but, I want games to just be better in general.
They're like, oh, that character needs to be one of what it's supposed to be represented as. If it's not the single bit of it, me rage. You meet me at the forums.
Yeah, but then you're also got, do some of those people that are quote unquote raging, are they just trying to get what they think is clout by being angry? A lot of people I found that, like, forum defend things are extremely reductionist in what they're saying. And I'm like, you don't actually care about this. You care about starting an argument about something.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I'm like, because discussion, we can disagree and have a discussion. But once you're going the all caps, you're, route, I'm like, that's not a discussion anymore.
Now you're trying to yell at me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that being said, though, too, is like, yeah, never play a game online with people you don't know.
That is true.
I mean, or do, I guess, if you want to hear a bunch of homophobia and transphobia and racism, and if that's your thing, then just go ahead and play with randos.
I mean, if
and I'm not saying that's everyone who plays rando. I'm just saying, you're gonna roll a critical failure more than you're gonna critically succeed.
Look, we lived through the lobbies of the COD lobbies, and those lobbies were dangerous.
Ugh.
That does.
Look, can I just say I'm really glad that I got out of my phase of playing in like, shooters with randos online
Yep.
long before there was voice chat for everyone.
Yeah.
Because the best thing then is, if you're playing, Unreal Tournament, or, God, was it Unreal Tournament?
Unreal
That was the name of the
Tournament.
damn game.
That's the game. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, like, when you're playing that, you had to actually, like, stop moving so you could type out what you were going to say. So the greatest comeback to that was to find the asshole who stopped to type and just kill them. At a certain point, you're just done saying shit because now you're going to lose instead. It was a quick way to shut down the vitriol.
I think what's happening now, though, since I don't play like the newest Call of Duties, but I still see videos of it. It's like they're trying to have a resurgence of how those lobbies are, but nothing can compare to like Modern Warfare 2 type lobbies where every words was just getting said, everything was just getting said.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I think I've banged the drum of shooter lobbies tend to attract a lot of toxic people enough times that, yeah.
I'm not going back into another shooter lobby.
I'll go in with voice chat if I'm playing with y'all. That's about it. Everyone else is gonna get muted. I'm like, also on top of it, I also don't care what some rando is saying. I don't need some tryhard yelling at me that I'm not doing good enough. I'm like, hey, I'm here to have fun.
I'm not here.
If you want to try hard, go in your ranked crap where I won't be. Like, gonna talk about some games that are coming out soon?
Hey, let's talk about some games that's coming out.
So let's get the first one out of the way. Not a new game, so I don't know if I even consider it a proper release. But the Resident Evil 4 remake's coming up.
And let's talk about the next
It is a
thing.
month away. Yeah. And let's talk about the next one. Jedi Wars Survivor.
Okay, I forgot that's coming out.
Or did I say Jedi Wars? Man, dyslexia is awesome. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Jedi Wars Survivor. Whatever. Fuck you.
Jedi Wars.
Words are hard. I don't want no smoke. Words are hard. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to play that. I enjoyed the first one. Never finished it. I didn't enjoy it enough to finish it. I was happy with the time I spent with it.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I was halfway through. I enjoyed it. I had fun. The combat system was great. The story, I was kind of like, whatever. Not saying it was a bad story. It's just, I'm like, I've read the expanded universe back when that was still canon. And I'm not saying this copies that, but I'm just like, I get the usual beats that are going to happen in this. And so it was fine. Nothing wrong with that.
I feel like if I actually played and stayed sane to the game, I think I would have probably put more time into it. But I've only went past like the second world of the game, and I was like, I think this is good enough.
Yeah, I got to a point where, oh man, I'll tell you what, if you never got as far as Kashyyyk, oh, you missed out.
I didn't get as far as Kashyyyk.
There was some, just traveling into, like, where you actually fight in Kashyyyk, and like, yeah, I get it, it's more like it's a set piece, but it was an awesomely done set piece on your way in. Worth playing up to that point just to see that. Seeing that actually got me to play longer because I was like, oh man, I want to see a couple more of those. That was done really well, and like the camera work in it was so good. But yeah, it just kind of, once I got to the point where it's like, okay, now you're gonna go back and revisit this other place because now you've unlocked a new movement power, and so you can see more parts of this old world. I'm like, yeah, I ain't doing all that.
Yep.
I'm good. I was happy with my time here. I get it. The game has opened up now, but I wasn't enjoying it enough where I'm like, I'm going to go keep exploring world after world. I'm like, I was good. And like I said, don't regret my time with it. Absolutely loved it. Be more than happy to like pick this one up and probably do the same thing. I'll probably play like 6 to 8 hours of it and go, hey, I enjoyed our time together. Thank you for our time together. I'm off to the next game. I am kind of excited for that. I'd like to see what they did with it. that'd be kind of
I think I
a
might
thing.
keep my. I think I think I might keep my distance until I finish this. Until I finish Hogwarts Legacy, only because I want to make at least a thing where I can beat a game, like try at least beat 12 games this year. That way I can be like, hey, I finished games, and not just
Well, don't
start.
worry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was it.
Okay. So don't worry too much. April 28th is when this one's coming out.
Okay, cool.
So we're looking into the future now. I mean, we've talked a lot about games coming out in the last couple of weeks. And those are so like Wulong is coming out March 1st. So I'm at that point now where I'm done talking about like that I'm looking forward to it. I'm waiting for it to actually be out now so I can play it. And then, knowing me, talk shit about it. So the other one, and this one's probably, I don't know, how many people actually liked Dead Island? Because I actually had fun with that game.
I think people
My
had fun with the first one, but not Riptide.
I never played Riptide.
See,
Yeah. But yeah, so the first Dead Island I had fun with, right up into the point where my save somehow got corrupted, and then they were like, and now restart. And I'm like, no, I'm halfway through the game. I'm not going to do that. Like, that was the only souring point of that game for me. So Dead Island 2, April 28th. I am looking forward to it. That's probably going to be one of those, yeah, we'll wait till you're on sale kind of thing.
yeah.
Because I'm like, eh. Oh, yep. June 2nd for Street Fighter 6.
And that's when I'm finna become a recluse. Uh, the fighting game nerd in me is gonna try to play it, and hopefully it doesn't become like DNF Duel. Cause damn it, I
Well,
bought
that's
that.
okay.
Cause damn it, I bought the game and I never played it again afterwards.
Ah. Well, you'll be in good recluse company because I know what Floyd is going to be playing this summer. June 6th, Diablo 4 comes out.
Oh, yep, that's him.
And so we're looking forward to an entire summer of Floyd talking about Diablo 4. That'll be fun.
So, so a summer of me talking about Street Fighter and a summer of him talking about Diablo.
Yep. And yeah, apparently we got the new Forza Spring 2023. So I'm looking forward to that one. I know Floyd's looking forward to that too. We're gonna make everyone look forward to that one because we're gonna set up the racing wheel and people will be playing zoom, zoomy,
Zoom, change gear.
Yeah, that's funny too though because we were talking about it last episode, Slay the Spire.
Yeah.
I just re-downloaded it. I'm like, I'll go another couple runs in this. Why not?
Yeah.
I haven't done it in a while, so that and actually wishlisted a card battler, which I know is like against my religion or something. But it's done by the same studio that did Pop-Up Dungeon. Which kind of had that card battler element, and they did it really well, and I thoroughly enjoyed it the time I played with it. It's another one of those games I put like 20 hours in, and then it was like kind of petered out because I'm like, oh, I got to do some grinding now. So that's one that I'll throw on once in a while and drop an hour in. But yeah, this one like just came out yesterday. I can't even think of the name of it right off the top of my head, but it's by Triple B Games, so they do fun little games like that. Yeah, so that one I might be playing soon. I gotta finish Persona 3 now that I'm finally past my old spot and I'm on to like new stuff, and I have to be very near the end of the game because I have 100 hours in right now. I spent my entire vacation playing that game, pretty much. Like and then let it sit for 2 months because I was like, I need a break from this.
See,
that's what I'm looking forward to this week.
I might be looking forward to playing Okami HD because I realized I have Okami on the Switch, and I think what stopped me from playing it the other time is because that The controls are kind of clunky on the Switch.
Yeah, do they try and do the like making you do motion stuff with it?
I think so, and I think that's why I stopped for a second.
Yeah, if there's not an option to turn that crap off, I don't want it.
Especially since it's a old game. Like it is a HD remake. Don't add emotion.
Yeah. Yeah, don't add random crap the game didn't need. Like you ruined your remake. Oh man, I almost forgot.
What?
There was something I saw. This is like I've been meaning to talk about this for like I think probably 2 weeks now. I keep forgetting because that's how pointless this game is to me.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Tales of Symphonia remaster coming out. I don't know when because I don't care. My gripe with that is you have to master a game the first time to be able to remaster it. Boom, drop the mic, done.
Boom. Call it quits. That's right there.
And Borderlands 3 sucks too. I don't know if we mentioned that yet today.
Have we?
I don't know. I just want to make sure. In case anyone ever forgets week to week, we will be your constant reminder.
That how much Borderlands 3 sucks.
Yeah. And you know, it's even one of those games, and I know there's going to be people defending it, but I'm like, even without Borderlands 2 preceding it, that game would not have been enjoyable.
Yeah.
So, thanks for all your hard work on the first two games. I'm sorry, you know, everything went to shit in 3.
And you know, as you see, we talk about 1, 2, and 3. We don't talk about the pre-sequel.
I actually like the pre-sequel. I don't have a problem with the pre-sequel.
Pre-sequel.
My only problem with it is that it's a prequel.
Yeah.
So, but I don't play Borderlands for the story. Unless by story you mean the weird characters that show up and you deal with, and
it's really just the characters.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, like I played Borderlands 2 enough that I don't pay attention anymore. Like, you know, they try way too hard with the I'm zany, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and that plays once or twice, and then after that, I'm like, cool, give me the mission. You know, there's very like Tiny Tina. I'll listen to her all the time.
Yeah.
Torg. I love Torg. Explosions. That sentence had too many syllables. Apologize. Love it. Love that, man. But those two, I think, are probably still two of my favorites because you don't hear them the whole game. You know, it's like there's sections where you're interacting with them. And so they're very, like, in their section, and that's that. So.
A nice little honorable mention is Hammerlock.
Oh, Sir Hammerlock, yeah. He's definitely crazy. He definitely belongs in the Borderlands universe.
Yeah,
but he plays at being sane fairly well.
Because that right there is a gentleman, a crazy gentleman.
Yeah, well, you know, like British colonialism distilled into something you can laugh at instead of something that if you look into will make you cringe. At best, it will make you cringe. Got anything else this week, bud?
Actually, no. I don't.
Well, so don't force it if it ain't there.
Yeah.
You want to get done with this and play a couple games?
I like games.
I like games too. And now we've been talking about them, so now I'm like, I want to play games.
Yeah. Let's get out of here before we can play games.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll be here again every week on Sunday, as we do. Episodes now drop Sunday at, well, I think 12:10 a.m. is when it finally went last time, because I'm learning how to set things up ahead of time. So literally, once it's Sunday, you can get done at the bar on Saturday, and we'll be waiting for you while you make your drunk food at home at 2 a.m.
Woo!
Yeah, that's our promise. But all right, thank you all so much for listening. You know, make sure to give a like or a 5-star rating or something or whatever you can do. We should be now on every major streaming platform except Apple, because I still can't get Apple to
let me actually use my fucking account to launch it. I'm still working on it. It will happen. I'm not giving up. It's just taking a little longer. And then they also have a review process that could be another 2 weeks. So once we finally get on Apple, there might be 6 or 7 episodes, but I'm working on it. We're getting there. So yeah. So we love y'all.
Love you.
Be safe out there. Bye-bye.
Bye.